Hello everyone, my name's Brian and welcome back. It's been a minute, so I've chosen to start myself off easy with a deck I know quite well, Legacy Sneak and Show. You might ask, Brian, why are you playing Legacy this close to Modern bans? Well, Modern was a bit of a dumpster fire, and I'm waiting for the bans to take effect, everything to go back to normal. Until then, Legacy it is, which is what I've been playing in paper, truth be told. Now, this version of Sneak and Show I dubbed Hazoret Show, and the reason I'm starting off with this one rather than trying something new is I want to see if this is still good. This was a bit of an off-the-wall version of Sneak and Show that actively made the deck worse in order to give it a little bit of life and surprise some people. Really what we were doing was the standard Sneak and Show package with, of course, show and tell with our big baddies, Atraxa and Emrakul, but also sneaking in Djeru and Hazoret in order to flip over either an Atraxa or an Emrakul and dig deeper in the deck. Really, these are cheekily taking the place of Omniscience. Also, Palantir of Orithek. This allows you to play a secondary game that most people fall for once, which is if you don't let me draw, which most people are wanting to do on the first or second draw, you're going to take 15 damage because Brainstorm is a thing. Other than that, this is a pretty similar all-in Sneak and Show list with 4 Lotus Petal, 4 Simian Spirit Guides to try and hyper out show and tells and sneak attacks to get our big baddies in. Of course, we have Force of Wills and Fluster Storms as our permission magic. Now, last time I played this deck, Mind's Desire was just unbanned, and I was running into a lot of Mind's Desire, hence the Fluster Storms, not the Spell Pierces. However, things have changed. So the question is, what, if anything, should I change to this deck? Now, if you look at the sideboard, I've already started to make changes because these energy fluxes, while hilarious, are just not as good as Null Rod. So let's go ahead and add one more Null Rod in, get rid of that. You'll also notice this is a particularly white-heavy sideboard. Because we are playing Hazoret and Djeru, this means we were playing 2 Tundras in order to get those white spells out. Ley Line of Sanctities are just good in general when you're playing combo. The fact that we can hardcast them is a bonus, and Prismatic Ending is a good catch-all to try and stop things like bridges and stuff. Along with our Surgicals to stop opposing combos or protect our own. Furies, look at me Modern, look what I still get to play. Magus of the Moon for haha I wins, and Defense Grids to make sure you can go off. I am gonna make one more change, I think, before we even get into this. You're gonna see this in real time. Let's go ahead and get these Flusters out and put into Spell Pierces. Which ones do I have multiple? I have multiple. So, Spell Pierce, Spell Pierce. I just think those are better. Truth be told. Another thing you give up with this version of the deck is you can only play 1 basic land. When I was playing Sneak and Show back in the day, I was playing like 4 basics, but when it's true 3-color, it's hard to do that. There's also a lot of 3 colors with green running around. We'll see if we want to try and transition into that, or if we just bring it back to Is It. So let's go ahead. We're going to drop into some one-on-one games, not a league, only because, as I just explained, I might want to change this deck as we're playing. This might be a pile of jank that was good, 2 months ago that now in the meta just doesn't work. So let's go ahead and hop in, see how this does, see what I want to change, if I want to change, or if we just play this 5 games in a row. Join me, won't you? All right, everyone. As is tradition, we've lost our die roll. Let's go ahead and see what we have here. We have a land. Actually, no, we have 2 lands, a Simian and a Atraxa. This is probably fine. We just have to find an enabler. We have 2 cantrips. We even have permission magic if they try and do something broken. Thoughtseize coming in hot and making our hand worse, I think. Just puts the Atraxa in the bin, I reckon. Ooh, red. Gobbo? Aether Vial. So it is Goblins, so we're just going to snap this off now. Once that Aether Vial comes down, our counterspell doesn't do anything anyway. All right, and we draw a Palantir. Do we turn 1 Palantir? I mean, I don't see why not. It'll confuse our opponent if nothing else. Now, obviously, this would have been much better if that was a Ancient Tomb, but the sooner we deal this guy 1,000,000 damage with the Palantir, the sooner we start to draw to a turn. I don't understand why Palantir draws at the end of turn as opposed to during upkeep, but I will take the benefit. I think our opponent has to read Palantir. Might never run into that. Totally reasonable to have not run into this Lord of the Rings mythic beast here. I feel like he's just gonna mill it. We could really use the land, so we'll put top and then top, and he'll just mill. He'll take 1. It'll be fine. Yep. So now hopefully we can brainstorm a Atraxa to the top of it if we can't find a way to do that. Go ahead and wasteland City of Traders. It wasn't going to do anything anyway. Okay, so they've essentially wastelanded a land we were about to waste ourselves, and that took their entire turn, so that's actually awesome. We get to draw a land, so now not only do we get to brainstorm, but we get to get rid of things that weren't particularly helpful. So Palantir doing its back of text, which is just confusing the daylights out of our opponent. So we need to put 2 back, hey. So put back Ponder, put back Flooded Strand. They're probably going to mill those 2, which is fine. We have the ability to show and tell next turn. I guess we want the Ponder more? Actually, no, we want the Flooded Strand more. So top. I mean, they're both getting milled. Yeah, opponent takes 1. They still don't know what we're doing, which is good. I don't think they're going to go off next turn, especially since they had to wasteland us. All right, Cavern of Souls is fine. Next turn, we get an Atraxa, and they get, like, 1 of something. And then we get to refill our hand with Atraxa. Goblin Lackey. Sure thing, boss. I mean, I guess if they have Muxus in their hand, that kind of hurts. But other than Muxus, this is actually not the worst. Scalding Tarn. Well, show and tell. Atraxa. Anything but Muxus is pretty fine, but if it's Muxus, that really does hurt. Goblin Ringleader, okay. I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to get us in. Do they get a Munitions Expert? Like, Name Sticker Goblin, which just makes a million. All right, so we want a Lotus Petal, a Brainstorm, the Atraxa, the Sneak Attack, Ponder. We want the Misty or the... Because next turn we get to get the Sneak Attack down, but we're going to use the Atraxa to dome them for 7. I guess the Misty's fine. All right, play Lotus Petal, sack Lotus Petal for blue, Brainstorm, hopefully find an Emrakul. Didn't find the Emrakul. We did find a Forcible, though. So put a Sneak Attack back, put a Atraxa back. So top, and now they deal themselves a bit of damage. Yup, put themselves to 6. Everyone always makes that mistake at least once. And we win the game. The thing is, they're not going to make that mistake twice. That is something they do once and then never again. Okay, what are we doing here? Furies seem good. Maguses seem bad. Defense grids, no rods, no. Leyline Sanctity, no. Prismatic ending, maybe. What comes out? Maybe one Palantir, only because, like, they know the trick now. And they're not going to fall for that twice. One Djeru and Hazoret, because it's probably our weakest piece. We could probably even take out the Spell Pierces, because they're mostly creature-centric. I think that's about it. And we get to put in 2 creatures for the one we take out. Not that we're going to particularly cast Fury the hard way, but, you know, it is a fine card. I think that's about it for Goblins. Let's try that. All right, so our opponent goes first. We have a Force of Will, a Cantrip, a Tundra, an Ancient Tomb, and a Petal. I'm going to keep this because it can stop their Vial. It can also stop their turn 1 Lackey. No, now it can't do anything if they have turn 1 Lackey, and we have to find a red card. Yep, here comes Goblin Lackey. Okay, so we do have the Fury. We just need to find in the top 4 or 5 cards, essentially, any red card. Scalding Tarn. So I think we play... Actually, we have both. So we'll start with Brainstorm. We do have a Lotus Petal. We don't find it. We can put some lands back. Then play Lotus Petal. And then try and ponder into something red. Any order. Shuffle Library. Couldn't find a red card, so this is going to hurt now. Cavern of Souls is a beating when you were hoping for permission magic. And it's not like we took any red cards out of the deck. They should really attack first and then kind of develop their board a bit and then see what they want to cast. I don't think they're going to do that based on the Ancient Tomb, though. I think they might go straight into casting stuff, which is fine. They're in a dominant position. Like, if I could have killed the Goblin Lackey, I would have. Here comes Vial. Again, we're going to counter this only because... Probably the only thing we're going to counter. Plus, we do need to kind of stem this bleeding a bit. If they have a second Goblin Lackey, like, it's uncounterable anyway. Now at this point, like, they're going to get something big down. You just hope it's not Muxus. If it's Muxus, that's really brutal. A Chalice on 1. I've had worse. All right, just not Muxus. Okay, that's not the worst. It also dies to Fury if I find a red card. Priz ending. Okay, well, that solves at least one problem. Go get a Volk. White, red... ending, and those, and done. You might wonder why I didn't nip the Chalice of the Void. It's because the Goblin Lackey is actively going to murder us. Whereas the Chalice of the Void, like, I have no 1-drops in my hand currently. And truth be told, if I can find a Show and Tell, I have an Atraxa in hand, and that'll probably put the game away. Well, there goes the Volcanic Island. Oh, well, that worked out better than it possibly could have. So the guy kind of honed in on the wrong color. I've already gotten one of the 2. Oh, dear. Oh, wait, no, that just... He has to sacrifice something. Never mind. I already played one of my 2 cards. Why didn't he attack with the broadside bomber? It has haste. You don't have to boast. Anyway, yeah, I don't really have any white cards left. I mean, if I draw the next Priz ending next turn, I look like a donkey, but now I look fine. All right, so play this. I start taking like 4 or 5 a turn. It's fine. In fact, if I find 1 more mana, I could just hard cast Fury and just take out most of his stuff, and we're doing okay. Once I have Fury on the field, hey, oh no, Rishadenport, you're ruining my good time. We're getting stacks out of this game, folks. Just attack for 4. Just attack for 4. Still won't. Oh, okay, cool. So I have a little bit of time. I have like 2 turns because he can always sacrifice the War Chief to the bomber after damage because of how Boast works. Tap the Ancient Tomb. Yeah, that's what I thought. So now we're a bit. Oh wait. Fury can be used to pitch Sisyphean Spirit Guide. Okay, everyone in the comments can start yelling at me now. I missed that for a turn. Man, I've been away for a while. And for some reason, my left hand's heavier. I don't know what's going on. So, 2 to you, 2 to you. Wipe your board. It would have been great if I could have kept Fury around and like closed out the game, because right now I'm just waiting for Haymaker. But truth be told, like my opponent's not running counter spells. And if I find a sneak attack or a show and tell before they find their W, then we can close this game out. Well, what did they find? Something big. Another bomber. Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. It's got Menace, so I can't just run the monkey out. Emrakul, all right. It seems like we're just going to sit here, do nothing, and die, which is unfortunate. The Rishadenport actually kind of killed us here, because if they didn't have the Rishadenport, we would have been able to just run out Fury and had a Fury and dealt them 6 a turn. But they can deal 2 a turn, and then 4 on the final turn they need to kill us with the Broadsiders. Goblin Matrons, so they can find whatever they're looking for now. I guess just any 1-drop Goblin. Because they're just trying to close out the gate with Broadside. I mean, they take 2, they tap down our Ancient Tomb. We can't draw out of this, right? So as long as they play this right, they've won this game. So just go get a Lackey or like a Skirk Prospector, and that's a W to you. Or you can even chain Goblin Matrons. That's even a correct move. So you Goblin Matron for Goblin Matron, and then you have a lot of ammo for Broadside Bomber. Goblin War Chief. How do you cast that? Now, they should really boast here. They didn't boast. Interesting. So they take 2 to keep my Tomb tapped down. I don't know why they didn't deal me an extra 5, because I just would have been dead. Volunteer. Okay. Well, we're just dead anyway. I mean, I'm interested to see if they figure it out, because they could have just killed Goblin Matron, and that would have dealt us another 5 damage. We would have been at 2. I mean, then again, I was also misplaying left and right, so I suppose I can't be too harsh on the guy. All right, opponent, you absolutely have this locked up. Just swing out with everything and throw the Goblin Matron at me. Yeah, see? They figured it out. They got there. Anything I want to change? Not really. I feel like everything that happened I was happy with. So let's just run that back. I mean, I suppose by happy with, you know, it worked fine. So this gets rid of their early thing with the Djeru and Hazoret, and then we can maybe put an Emrakul into play. Seems fine? I mean, if they have a Sting Scourger, then bravo, you got me. All right, so we'll put out a Flooded Strand and just pass. We hope to find a Solan or some sort of ramp. If they want to turn 1 Chalice, that's fine. That means they didn't turn 1 a Goblin, which is preferable. Wasteland. All right, well, luckily for me, I have a basic. Here it is. Look at my island. Look at my island. My island's amazing. More fetches, which means I get to continue to slow roll. So here's a Flooded Strand. Go for it. And then next turn, I just drop Emrakul and see if they can go around me. Aether Vial, sure, you finally get your Aether Vial several games later. Oh, and he tapped his Wasteland. Interesting. Now I just get to do this. City of Traders. Does that change anything? I don't think we do that yet. I think we do just Scalding Tarn into another volcanic island and just play on Emrakul and see if they can do something about it. Show and tell time. Oh, if they have a Red Blast. I forgot about Red Blast. Do you have a Pyro or a Red Blast opponent? Is that what you slow rolled me into? Because that... Oh no, okay, cool. I was gonna say, honestly, that was about to be amazing. If they show and tell, oh, it's a Muxus, so... That is the risk we run. Although we do have a Fury, so we do get to just kill Muxus. Get a whole bunch of mana. Get Goblin Ringleaders too. Another Goblin Ringleader and a Battlecry Goblin. I feel like I do just, like, Fury. They'll pass the thing so they don't have 11 mana sitting there. They have a bunch of red mana, but they don't have any black mana. And I do think I just kill Muxus, and they get to have a Goblin Lackey, and then deal me 6, which is fine. And we evoke Fury with good old Djeru and Hazoret. Djeru and Hazoret proving that they're good in this particular build of the deck. And Kablawi Muxus go away. I mean, they have a lot of stuff. Give them that. They have to get rid of 6 things next turn, though. So they can get down Battlecry Goblin, maybe a 1-drop from their hand. I mean, if they have another Muxus, they have another Muxus. But other than that, we feel pretty decent about what's going on here. And our opponent scoops it up. That's 1-0. Let's go on to the next match. Oh, all right, we win a die roll. Hooray. And we have a hand we have to throw back. Ooh. This hand's better. Give up on the Brainstorm because we have no fetch. We're just trying to find, at this point, something worth showing and telling out. So I ponder this question. I ponder how awful this is. Any order. Shuffle. Scalding Tarn. All right, cool. Cool. Try and find any of our smashy bits. See what our opponent gets up to. And a Twara. Ugh. Preordain, I guess. What is going on here? This is one of the secret layers? Like one of the first secret layers, right? When they were still putting them on mid-go. You know, I am a Magic boomer, but I honestly, please cast Show and Tell. But at the same time, you know, I'm not super into things like that. Well, gonna play a Scalding Tarn. We didn't find any big hits yet. It worries me if our opponent's on Show and Tell and we don't have something that can punish their Show and Tell in hand. Because like if we want to counter their Show and Tell, we're gonna have to do it with ours, so they're gonna realize what we're on. Crunch this. Go get a Volk. What do we got here? A Ponder. All right, please find something good. Emrakul. So. We're gonna go. Actually, Tarn, Will, Emrakul. Don't shuffle Library. City of Traders. Show and Tell? Do I get away with it? If they counter it, they're not on Show and Tell. If they let it go, they're on Show and Tell. We gotta counter it. Spell Pierce. Okay, that's fine. Run this out, because I now know what we're doing. And next turn, we can try again with Sneak Attack. And we'll have Counterspell backup. If they, do a Show and Tell, though, we still have our Emrakul, which will in theory get to attack first, unless they do the same thing we were going to do by putting out the Sneak Attack. Lorien Revealed. This still feels like a Show and Tell deck. Because I don't think it would be so mono blue if it was like an Omni kind of thing. Or Storm, even. You have more counterspells on it. The good news is, so do I. Of your last 2 cards is 1 a counterspell. Hey, okay, well, good news and bad. Good news is our opponent has no permanents. Bad news is, we have no hand. Oh, they scoop. Okay. I still feel like that was a mirror. I mean, I guess defense grids, like take out a Palantir, take out a Brainstorm, or 2 defense grids, and that's like it. Try that. All right, this hand doesn't do anything. Too many mana sources, not enough enabling. This is missing something very specific. Tell me at home if you know. Our opponent kept 6. We're going to mill to 5. We're just going to keep this. We are going to put back... It is an awful hand. I think we want defense grid, so put back Petal, put back Force of Will. Guess we should have kept Force... Actually, no, because we weren't going to keep both blue spells. I kept the Emrakul because A, I'm bad at Magic, and B, I am kind of holding out hope that we just draw into what we need. Fancy Cardigan? No, okay, nothing. And a Troxa. All right, so we're going to play the Volcanic Island and just pass. We have a Spell Pierce to try and stop whatever nonsense they're about to do. I mean, if they're just doing nothing, then that's fine. Please draw a land, Brian. That's kind of a land. Cool. We baited out a Spell Pierce. That's that. I mean, we do have a Spell Pierce now if we have to absolutely shut down whatever it is they're doing, but we shall see if that's something worth worrying about. They don't even have a land drop. Okay, so we're both missing land drops. Sneak Attack. Well, if I had more mana, if I was a little bit taller, if I was a baller, if I had a rabbit in a hat, I would call her, or however that goes. Preordain. No, I think this is the best this is gonna get, so... You don't get to smooth the top of your deck. I was gonna say, please snap out a counterspell on my Spell Pierce. That would be aces. Simian Spirit Guide. We get ever closer to actually being able to cast something. Just a Soul Land would be amazing right now. Although, my opponent's hand must be full of counterspells, because it's full of nothing else. They're not doing anything. Scalding Tarn, well... This is not a coward's game. Don't need the Tundra, not actually running anything that uses it. Come on, Sneak Attack. Nope, immediately. It didn't even hit the stack before the mana started tapping. All right, they had a Spell Pierce. We're back to doing nothing. That's one of the things about this deck. When it works, it seems like it's broken, but it can also just stall out, and I have 2 cards in my hand that don't do anything. Impulse, Sure Thing, Boss. They gotta be playing some sort of... It might be Mind's Desire. A Mind's Desire combo. Or lands, okay. Twara again. Thought Lash. Oh, so it's, what'd you call it? A Thassa's Oracle deck. So at this point, we want to find a counterspell pretty bad, specifically Force of Will. On deck. On deck. Nope, we lose. All right, we'll let them show off their combo. So essentially, they don't play Thought Lash's cumulative upkeep. They exile their whole library, and they just play Thassa's Oracle for the W. Oh, maybe they don't have it yet. Interesting to do that now. How do they exile? Oh, they can't do it on their thing, because then when they went to draw, they would have lost, but I was right how the combo worked, as you're over there, as you're seeing up there now. I was just wrong on how exactly it worked. So there's that. Our opponent is doing combo eths. No, nothing I have in here stops that. So I guess we just do this again and hope we draw a better hand. No colored mana. Still no colored mana. Sure. I mean, this is super slow, and our opponent is also milling, but they only had to mill to 6. We'll get rid of the Petal and the Tundra. We even play out the Volcanic Island because we kind of want... Oh, none of this is actually helpful right now. Any order, shuffle. Lotus Petal. Well, remember that card we put at the bottom of our deck? I mean, now if we find a Show and Tell, we can at least get out Djeru and Hazoret. I think Djeru and Hazoret's a little too slow in this particular matchup, though, because they can just put down Thought Lash and just win the next turn. Volunteer, that's interesting. I mean, it'll get countered, but be interesting to see. Get a Tundra in case we do end up just hard casting Hazoret. All right, if my opponent has a counterspell, this is getting countered, but if they don't have a counterspell, then... Or if they just don't know what it does and don't think it's going to kill them. Nope, it got forced. Getting rid of one of their Thought Lashes, so they must have redundancies in their hand. Next turn, we get to try and do something with Ponder. Cavern of Souls. Oh, it's the non-fancy one. I thought they were all supposed to have ink. Hermit. Oh, it's another counterspell on a stick, sure. Sneak Attack. Well, as fun as that would be. Ponder. Oh, wrong mana. Gotta throw this back because we don't have any mana. To Ponder again, though. Next turn, though, they just get to keep up Hermit. But, like, we need mana, don't we? Actually, I think we do keep this. Because over the next... I mean, they'll probably win over the next 2 turns. We'll see what they do on their turn. But we can just play Djeru and Hazoret, and it would be able to attack immediately. Because we are just kind of locked under this Hermit at the moment. So yeah, the next turn, we just get to run out the Hazoret. Although if they run out, this is going to be rough. Oh, did they just find Ancient Tomb, so now they just get to do it, and we don't even get to try and Hail Mary? Yeah, no, they just had Paradigm Shift, so we don't even get to Hail Mary. They just combo us out. We didn't find, like, any counterspells or anything. Here just comes Thassa's Oracle. And that's the match. We got out-comboed. 1-1. Let's go to match 3. All right, we win the die roll again. I opted not to change anything after last time, because I didn't actually think of anything I wanted the deck to do differently other than draw more counterspells, and we just didn't draw them. I don't think the Flusterstorms would have actually helped us in that scenario. Maybe we do take something out of the side if we get stomped again like that, but let's try this. I think this hand's fine as well. I mean, it's a turn 2 Sneak Attack, turn 3 Emrakul, and if we draw a Soul Land, it's 1 turn quicker. It's a very all-in hand, but if our opponent is like on Depths or something, then we really do get to get away with this. They could just be on blue, though, and this could be an awful hand, and we will lose. Oh wait, our opponent's still mulling. Interesting. If they mulled that aggressively, they might be on like a super fast deck, and we might just be too slow. Swamp into Thoughtseize? Into the rack. Oh, okay. Not terribly worried about the rack. Bulky. All right, if we find one more mana source, we just get to rip them to shreds. Show and Tell. That will also do it. So Tundra. Oh, but they could just Show and Tell out an Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, we're just going to keep this as counterspell stuff, and we're going to go red, this, exile, exile, Sneak Attack. And then next turn, we're going to Emrakul them. We have 1 Force of Will backup. Yeah, because if they have like a Hymn to Torok, we just counter and then we smash them with Emrakul. I mean, we'll be empty-handed, but they'll be empty-boarded. Looks like they're just... they might have an Edict of some sort. Like a sudden Edict that I literally can't counter would be a way of getting rid of Emrakul. Because this could just be mono black, and I don't know if that has bridge in the main. Sneak Attack goes on the stack. Hopefully, if they have any Edict other than Sudden Edict, we're actually fine. But if they have Sudden Edict, then Emrakul dies, and we're just playing the draw game. Cool, let's see if they have an Edict. Sudden Edict, yup. The one I can't counter. Shuffle that in. That also means Emrakul was the worst of the ones I could have had, because, like, a Troxa would have been amazing on that count. I am going to trade the Scalding Tarn for 1 damage, only because I want to thin the deck at this point, because we did just shuffle some air back into it, and I don't want to draw more lands at this point. I want to draw fire. More swamp. We'll just get a Volk. We take a damage. What do we draw? Please be a creature or a cantrip. Lotus Petal can just stay in hand. Inquisition of Kozilek. Sure thing, boss. I already have a sneak attack in play. You can take the show and tell. Extra. Sure, I already have sneak attack in play. I feel like that doesn't do as much as you think it does. Unless, I mean, if you have Feed the Swarm and you have a way of killing sneak attack, like, bravo, but I already have sneak attack in play. Now you can't, like, if I draw something cool off the top, you can't edict me, or at least bluff edict. I mean, this person might end up winning this game, so maybe I'm, you know, splitting hairs here, but I do feel like it would have been better to not do that. Come on, deck. Show me not a mana source. No mana source. No mana source. No mana source. Ponder. All right. We start the clown music. Come on, deck. Atraxa. Perfect. Because Atraxa is going to hit the field and then get killed. So I get to look at my top 10. You can edict if you want, but it's already too late. Yep, that's fine. I get to look at my top 10, buddy. Come on, threaten the top 10. All right, so we get to keep poking with Djeru. I think I already played a land this turn. Oh, I didn't. Okay. So I can take Volunteer, Ponder, Brainstorm. Don't take Volunteer. I take a Lotus Petal. Take the last bulk. Cool. And then I get to cast these Lotus Petals. And then I get to cast this here. I guess we'll start with the Brainstorm. We found an Atraxa. Great. So put Island back. Put Volunteer back. Play Volcanic Island. Sneak in another Atraxa. All right. Sneak attack. Spell Pierce. Ponder. Volunteer. Flooded Strand. Atraxa. I can even Atraxa one more time. Opponent has no cards in hand and is just burning time. I think they're a little upset with the situation. What do you think? All right, put another Atraxa out. Doesn't matter which Atraxa I keep. Gonna find Emrakul eventually. During time when your opponent is kind of stalling for time, make sure your hand's not on the mouse so you don't accidentally click through your triggers. Literally just keep your hands where other people can see them. You know, behind your head's a good area to put them. All right, cool. Oh, okay, we found Emrakul. Great. So Emrakul, Force of Will, Tarn, Sneak Attack, and done. And red, Sneak Attack, Emrakul, Combat, and our opponent scoops the whole match. That is 2-1, salting off in round 1. You love to see it. Let's go to match 4. All right, surprisingly, we win a die roll again. We're on a good roll with that. This is fine. We can keep this. Got some permission magic, it's got some hand smoothing, it's got a payoff. We just need to find the actual force part, or the actual enabler. Our opponent has mulled to 5, and we have a Force of Will, so hopefully the Force of Will does something good. No, I think we're good on lands, thank you. Shuffle library, yes, and we get a land anyway, hooray! Alright, this is not playing a lot of lands, this deck, truth be told. What do we got here? Bad lands into what? Faithless Looting, so it's Reanimator. Well, let's kind of nip this in the bud. They have more reanimation spells than they have enablers, so if you can get their enabling cards down and not let them put things in the bin in the first place, that's normally the best thing you can do. Now, come on, show me something good. A Ponder. Well, let's start with that. Nope, any order, shuffle. Ancient Tomb. Play Flooded Strand, play Lotus Petal. Hope our hand doesn't get attacked. Hope they don't put Archon of Cruelty out immediately. Because if they just Entomb Reanimate, like, we are done skis. Alright, seems like they kind of needed that Faithless Looting. The bad thing is Faithless Looting has flashback. Yes, a Tundra's fine, in case we find a Djeru and Hazoret. Show and tells are also very risky against Reanimator, because they can just, oh, well. Or we'll find that. Alright, so red, 2 of those, 1 of that. Play Sneak Attack. This is what you need against Reanimator. And then do that, and then cross our fingers and our toes as we play Atraxa. All right. Oh, we win. Okay. Emrakul. Oh, no, we can't get both. Oh, no, we can't get both. Oh, our opponent scooped even though we weren't going to be able to get both. You may notice I don't really have Graveyard Hate. All right, so we have the Ley Lines and we have Surgicals. Probably take out like 1 Show and Tell. Volunteers are probably too slow. Take out 1 Brainstorm. Just take out 1 more thing. Got a Ponder and try it like this. Fingers crossed. See how she runs. Huh. I actually think this is a bit of a trap. This seems better. Keep. Put back 1 of the petals. This is also still trap adjacent. And the thing about Grief is they get to rip something out of our hands before we get to Surgical something. So not the end all be all you think it is. I don't think show and tell is the answer here, because if they just have something big in hand, because they have their own big things in hand, and it's not like a Thassa that starts a chain reaction. So I'm just going to play Blooded Strand and the Lotus Petal, and I'm just going to let this ride a little bit. I mean, if they go after our hand, they get us. If they have Grief, they get us. If, you know, there's a whole bunch of things that get us. Entomb. Okay, so I need a stop on their draw step. You may Entomb. Grizzlebrand, sure. Well, it's a good thing we didn't play show and tell, because they had a... Oh no, Grizzlebrand was in their deck. Okay, now we know their hand is nothing, so first of all, get rid of that. And there's no other Grizzlebrands. Okay. So we get to go off next turn, which is neat. I mean, they can get a Troll of Khazad-dûm into play. That'll block the Djeru and Hazoret, because they can Dark Ritual, Cycle Troll of Khazad-dûm, Animate Dead. Seems that that's what they're going for. They're going to go for a big 5/5. Which, don't get me wrong, like, a 5/5 is a threatening creature. It's not Grizzlebrand, but it is still a problem. So their hand is just lands now. We're going to show and tell in the Djeru and Hazoret, so I'm just going to get a Volk. Sneak Attack. Sneak Attack. All right. Show and tell. Sneak Attack. Activate Sneak Attack. And now here's the Wombo opponent. Were you expecting Djeru and Hazoret? All right. Come on. Find me Emrakul. Found me nothing. Well, I'm glad I'm not drawing those. Just take 5, opponent. Don't block my sad Djeru and Hazoret that did nothing. Oh no. All right. So they play a Badlands. We have essentially 4 turns to try and turn this around. That's not going to do it. All right. Yield. We saw 6 cards. None of them are the cards we're looking for. Animate Dead, Djeru and Hazoret. Oh no. Atraxa enters the exiled zone. No. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. So now we have to top deck our own Atraxa and try and find Emrakul off of that, or we're just dead. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, they can just do Archon and kill us, hey. Yep. Alright. Concede. Yeah, next card was useless anyway. Well, we've learned something. That's rough. We don't have anything that stops that other than just being faster, so fingers crossed we're faster. Fine. This is fine. We play 1 Ponder, we pitch 1 Ponder, we have the Sneak Attack and the Show and Tell. We just have to find a useful thing. And Djeru and Hazoret, like, it saved us 1 game with the Fury. It bit us hard in this game, but, you know, that's just the risk you do when you play these kind of decks. What are we doing here? I guess Volk. Come on, find me something cool. Nope. Any order. Shuffle. I'll Pierce. All right. That gives us something new to pitch to Force of Will. We can have a Ponder next turn. Grief. Yeah, I don't want that. Oh, wait, but they get to do it multiple times because they're gonna... Yeah, I mean, they're gonna reanimate it, so they can take the Force of Will if they'd like. They're gonna get 2 either way. I don't want to give them 3. So they take Force of Will, and then they can take whatever they want. They take Show and Tell, so now when they go to reanimate that, I can just stop it from happening. Thought Seize. I am going to stop that. I do wish to maintain my Sneak Attack, even if it's only for 1 more turn. Man, we haven't seen any of our ley lines. That would have been great, but we just haven't seen them. Emrakul. Okay, well, maybe. Let's see what we get to do here. So Sneak Attack, Karn, Petal. Shuffle Library, no. Play Ancient Tomb, play Petal. Hope they don't reanimate Grief, which is a really slim margin, but I would have thought if they could have reanimated Grief, they would have done a last turn. Now, there are a lot of 2-mana reanimation spells that do just kind of put us to bed here. Reanimate. Taking Emrakul would be... If they take Sneak Attack, we actually have another one coming up pretty soon. So we really hope they take Sneak Attack and not Emrakul. But I think objectively just... okay, cool. So we have a chance. So we play Scalding Tarn. We don't crack it. We just run it. And then next turn, we get to eat them. If they disrupt our hand again... Which I don't know if they would bother doing. If they can get, like, an Archon of Cruelty going on, they get to do everything. But that would require them to have an... Voidwalker's fine. Voidwalker is fine. So they have nothing, which means we really do get to go ham. All right. Managed to steal this one. I'm not going to lie. They also put themselves to 15, so it's a little on them. Hey, that's another winner. That's, what, 3-1 at the moment, going into the last one? Feeling good to me. All right, here we are in the last round. We're 3-1, so we're already positive. And I'm positive I'm not keeping this hand. Yuck. Sure. Why not? I'm bad at Magic. Let's do this. Put back City Traders. Just do the dumb. I mean, if they don't, if they're not playing blue, this is great. If they're not playing blue, we just get to win game 1, but this is Legacy we're talking about, so they might just want to, you know, be playing blue. They mulled to 4. This is... I feel like this is one of those win on turn 1 decks, but let's see just what they're doing here. So we'll get I guess a Volk. It doesn't matter. Blue, exile, exile, go and tell. Emrakul. Now, did you just have a really... Oh, okay, it is just a... I don't think they can win turn 1, though. It's the Cascade deck. Can they get to 4? Oh, okay. I think they just win now, right? Vault's Trickery. I think they win. We'll just yield. Oh, this is new. This gives them a little bit more ability to not blank. Oh, they blanked. I wish I remember how that deck won so I could stop them. I don't remember how that deck wins. It's like cascading into something. Do they target me? Is Leyline of Sanctity good? I don't even remember. I don't even know what they're trying to do to try and stop them, if I'm being completely honest. I know they try and get to 4 mana super quick, and then they just kind of go off. Don't really have a ton for them. I don't know what their deck's trying to do to try and surgical them. They didn't win, you know? I don't know. I'm just going to run it back. That's probably wrong. All right, and we have a counterspell, which should be good enough. All right, our Spell Pierce is even active now. So play Flooded Strand, because we're good on mana at this point. All right, we even get to Brainstorm. Cool. I guess Magus of the Moon, now that I'm looking at this, might be a good thing if we get to game 3. Put that back. Actually, that back. Put that back. It's fine to have the Tundra. Play Scalding Tarn and just pass. We have 2 counter spells. Creative deck. So which one's mine? Like, I don't know which one's my opponent's. That's the thing. Because, like, I have counter spells. Obviously counter this one. But I don't know which one's targeting me. How do I know which one's targeting me? You cast a spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. So it's non-active player, active player. I think mine's first. All right, and then we shut this down. Ooh, a show and tell. Bibbity, bobbity, boobity. No. All right, so I guess we have to Troxa next turn, try and find more counter spells. Try another show and tell. Neat. They get to put more mana out, but I feel like the Atrox is just the W here. Well, closest thing too. Whoops. All right. We didn't get much, truth be told. So Simeon for mana, actual mana, Volunteer, and Brainstorm. So we Brainstorm now trying to find it. No, unfortunately. All right. So what do we not need? I actually think the Simians are the weakest. We don't need 2 Ancient Tombs. 1 Simian. All right. They get a turn, and they have a Maelstrom Wanderer. So I think they just get to go off because we don't have any counter. So I think they just put a million creatures into play. Now, if I can get an Emrakul, that'd be great. Ah, Forcible. Cool. They do get to get 1, though. Throws of Chaos. Okay, so they found it. All right. Go off, opponent. I got nothing. It's possible they blank again. Oh, another Maelstrom. Oh, this time they find Mind's Desire. All right. Go off, opponent. Go off, I guess. The question is, am I dead? I feel like I am. I feel like they'll have enough to bury me, but... Oh, yeah, there's Emeralds in there. All right. That's the end of that. So Magus time. Take out 1 Djeru and Hazoret. Take out what? I got a Palantir. In fact, put Djeru back. Take out both Palantirs because they're slow. I'd love to go first. Sure. We're going to show and tell turn 2 only because I want to keep up Spell Pierce for their shenanigans. All right, so let's play Scalding Tarn. Ship the turn. They normally don't do things turn 1. They can, but they normally don't. Cool. Red Source. Sneak attack. Okay, that's perfect. So blue, red, red. Go and tell. Sneak attack. Activate sneak attack. Put an Emrakul. Eat your stuff. Put you to 5. Make you start over. And now we just have to find stuff before they start doing things. I mean, they could still totally win is the thing. Like, yeah, we hopefully stump them. Hopefully they don't have land. If they have more land, then we feel sad. Sad. Ooh, wow. They had to play Boseiji rather than kill sneak attack. Show and tell. All right. Go, 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 go. Go, go, gadget. Don't need a boss stop anymore. That was from the Reanimator game. All right. Come on. Hand smoothing. Magus of the Moon. Magus of the Moon. That's something to do on their upkeep. This only blanks them for 1 turn, but at least we don't lose. They scooped to a snuck-in Magus of the Moon. That's interesting. Anyway, 4-1. Let's go to the wrap-up. So, a couple of early scoops from opponents like that last game. The Magus of the Moon was going to die at end of turn. I just snuck it in so that we essentially would blank them for a turn. Now, we did one-on-one matches. That wasn't a league. I was very upfront about that in the beginning because I thought I would want to change this deck as time went on. And it did lose 1 game to another combo deck, but it won everything else, and it won against a pretty wide variety of the meta. Really, we didn't run into Shadow, we didn't run into Delver, but other than that, we ran into almost everything else. So I think the deck's still good. It's a little more off the wall. We even got to see Palantir kind of jam someone in the face and surprise them and win a game. We got to see Djeru and Hazoret win a game. Not the way it was supposed to, but just by being a red pitchable card so that Fury could be a thing. I like it. I've always liked Sneak and Show. I do think it's an interesting deck. I know a lot of people think it's very linear and very, single-minded. I respectfully disagree based on my personal experience with it, but to each their own. And guys, I am back. I am not going to be back the way I used to be. Back this past year, this channel is literally like a year oldish now. And in that past year, I was able to do videos about once a week. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. But in general, it was actually about a video a week. And that's because my life at that time actually allowed me to record these, edit these, do these, essentially. And as you saw by this video coming out, I would still love to do this, but it's going to be a little slower cadence than normal. It's going to be a little erratic, which is awful for a YouTube channel. I'm well aware, but I've also been very upfront that this is for my own entertainment. I want to shout out all the guys at Chatswood Good Games who are starting to find the channel. Hello, everyone. I'll see you next Friday. I am in Chatswood GG most Fridays playing Legacy and Paper, playing even this deck in Paper. But for those of you who have stuck around this long, and for those of you who are going to stick around in the more erratic period of this channel, I thank you very much for your time, support, and kind comments. Those of you who give rude comments down below, go nuts. And yeah, I will catch you next time. If you have a list you want me to try and play, go ahead and email me at heydummyplaythis@gmail.com. That's heydummyplaythis@gmail.com. I can't play everything because I need the cards, but I do try and play as much as I have available to me. Thank you folks one last time very much for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Later.